Council meeting called to order. Councilmember Chapman?
Here.
Councilmember Clayton?
Here.
Councilmember Kendall?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Here.
Mayor Moore?
Here.
There are additional staff that we would like to recognize that are attending the meeting. We have City Manager Donna Viero, City Attorney Frederick Raffetto, Michelle Alonso, Director of Planning and Redevelopment, Joanne Booz, CFO, Michael Del Rey, Deputy Tax Assessor, Joe Della Ragione, Director of IT, Cassandra Dickerson, Director of Community Development, Leisha Floyd, Director of Recreation, Garrett Iverson, OEM Director, Kevin Kennedy, Fire Chief, David Kelso, Chief of Police, Tracy Lazardi, QPA, Nate McAllister, IT, Bill McClave, Superintendent of Public Works, Doug Schultz, Director of Social Services, George Sela, Construction Official, Tamika Smith, Code Enforcement, Sonia Spinia, Communications Director, Guy Thompson, Deputy Police Chief, Tyrone Young, Tax Collector.
And Melody, if I might, I think you forgot Michael Manzella, who's moderating the meeting, so he's the most important person right now.
Yes, he is, and I apologize. I did forget
Thank you.
Michael Manzella. We are now on to a silent prayer, moment of reflection. We will now salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of
America
and to the republic for which it stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with
liberty,
for all.
for all.
As to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the poster in the Star Ledger on January 7th, 2020, and posted on the bulletin board the same date. All notices are on file with the city clerk. We are on to...
Hello?
We are now on to matters from the City Council. We will have a statement from our mayor.
Good evening, everybody, and greetings from Asbury Park, which is strong as Jersey is strong. In previous times of crisis, some of our grandparents and parents were asked to make sacrifices during the Great Depression or World Wars. I'm asking all to make a sacrifice now. Let me be clear, this may be the easiest sacrifice that you're ever asked to make for the greater good of everybody. All you need to do is stay home and practice social distancing. Only go out for necessities that you need. This does not mean gathering at parks. Stay home and stay away from people. I understand this is a statement about Asbury Park that is completely against how we normally live in Asbury Park. I assure you this is a necessity for the community, state, and nation. New Jersey and Asbury Park has seen a sharp rise in cases, and according to our public health officials, the numbers will continue to rise dramatically unless action by each person is taken. That is action, again, is simple: stay home. Getting together with large groups of people, going to crowded places, acting as this is normal times are all ways that you put people that you love at risk. This virus spreads easily and is dangerous. As we have seen, even people that feel fine and show no symptoms have been testing positive for this disease. You may not be worried. You may not be in a high-risk category, but someone you know, someone you love may be, and although you may not mean to transmit it to them, it is a very real possibility that you could. Stay home. Stay away from other people. Wash your hands. Only go out when necessary. If you want to support our local businesses, order and take out delivery. Asbury Park will again open, and if you help by doing what we can, which is to stay home, then we can get back to some sort of normal fashion faster. Trust me, I'm looking forward to the warm weather, the beach, the boardwalk, and socializing, but now is not the time. If not for you, the Asbury Park residents, do it for the people that are at risk. Do it for the healthcare providers. They've been working endless hours since this has started. Do it for our essential employees and first responders. Think about everyone in Asbury Park and just stay home. Again, I thank you very much, John Moore.
So I'm just going to go through what most people already know, but I'm going to recap it. And that is police, fire, EMS, and our Department of Public Works are all essential services. City operations will continue, but city facilities are closed until further notice. And those facilities include City Hall, Municipal Court, the Public Library, Senior Center, DPW, Transportation Center, and the parking office is closed to the public. All non-essential departments are working from home and will be responsive to residents by phone or email. We closed the playground, basketball courts, and suspended the bike and scooter share programs. We suspended alternate side of the street parking and metered parking. We're continuing, I think there was at least 3 articles on this already, to monitor the boardwalk and the beach, and hoping everybody continues the social distancing guidelines are followed so we don't have to close either one. But, you know, make no mistake, if the social guidelines aren't being followed, we will close both the boardwalk and the beach to keep the residents in Asbury safe. COVID-19 is very contagious. We have seen the number of cases rise significantly. Asbury currently has 6 confirmed cases. We ask that you call your doctor if you have symptoms. If you have an emergency that requires calling 911, let the call taker know if you're experiencing any flu-like symptoms from flu-like symptoms. Our first responders' safety is even more valuable in this crisis. And I think John touched on it, and I think the whole council feels like our police department and fire department and EMS are doing just an amazing, amazing job under really, really stressful circumstances. So the less we put on them, the better. And hopefully we can keep these calls to emergencies. However, if it's questionable, then obviously call, but they're just doing such an amazing job that I think the whole council wants to thank all of them and the Department of Public Works and all of our employees who are working at home. If you didn't know about most of those things that I just read, you got to sign up for our Nixle or our city email or our Instagram or our Twitter or our Facebook, because that's, you know, the main way we're required really to communicate at this point. So if you go to our website, you can sign up for most of those and keep as updated as possible. I'm done.
So, okay. So I'd like to underscore what John and Amy said, and also begin by thanking our firemen, our police department, and those that are on the front line, our city employees who are keeping our city running under trying circumstances, our county and state officials for guidance, and our city manager for her leadership. Additionally, we all appreciate how our residents have stepped up by providing meals, delivering meals, making donations, and some even making masks for our first responders, and for our businesses that have stepped up to the plate also, you know, by making hand sanitizer, making it available, by feeding those in need. You know, a lot of thought goes into each decision we make so that you and your families remain safe and healthy. So continue to follow these guidelines, stay safe, and remain hopeful.
I also want to thank everyone that has been working so hard to keep our city safe, and especially the residents who are supporting our local businesses, those that are looking forward and finding ways to feed those that may be in trouble and those who are less vulnerable. I think it's just amazing, the outpouring of support and love from the city, and I'm so proud to be a resident of Asbury Park. So thank you, everyone.
Jesse, you want to add anything?
Yes. Over 50 years, I've been living in Asbury Park, and not only as a resident, but as a councilman, as a teacher, as a professional person in this area, I like to just take the time out to just thank everybody for putting their time in, their dedication, their love for Asbury Park. And I can call out every one of your names, but it'd take a lot of time. So just as a whole, I would like to just thank you for working diligently on this virus. Thank you. The city's going to come back, and let's stay strong together. Thank you.
Okay, this is John again. One last thing, and again, I thank the entire council, I thank the entire administration, I thank the entire populace. One thing, as Amy said, and maybe we have not stressed enough, we have been on conference calls, be it with state, federal, every level of the government going. We try to get out as much information as possible. Sonia's doing a great job doing that. But one thing we have not stressed, and I'd like to stress that everybody I talk to, we are in unknown waters. This is something new to the entire country, if not the world. There is no such thing as a stupid or a dumb idea or recognition or idea or whatever. Please, if you have any ideas, and if you see we're doing something wrong, we're open for constructive criticism and all ideas, because this is a new one to all of us. And quite frankly, the country's winging it, the state's winging it, and the city's winging it. So please, you all have all of our email addresses, you have our phone numbers. If anybody sees anything out there that we should be doing differently, again, do not be silent. Share your thoughts with us. And by doing that, we can get through this together. Again, thank you all.
And I'm just going to say one housekeeping thing, and this is to Mike Manzella. We should identify ourselves when we're speaking, Mike, right? Just so people who are obviously people can't see us speaking. So just like a housekeeping thing, this is Amy Quinn, Deputy Mayor. Anytime you speak, it might be a good idea to say, hey, this is John, or hey, this is Yvonne, or hey, this is Amy.
Yes, please do.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comments from the council. Are there any more comments from council?
Nope.
Seeing no comments, we will move on to the public participation portion of the meeting. Do I have a motion to open the meeting to the public? And I'm going to respectfully please remember to identify yourself.
Councilman
Do I have a
Kendall.
motion?
A motion, Council from Councilman Kendall.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second from Eileen Chapman.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed? The meeting is now open to the public. Members of the public may participate by dialing *9 on your phones to raise your hand in the Zoom meeting. I will either call your name or the last 4 digits of your phone number. When it's your turn to participate, when called upon, you will be unmuted to speak. Please state your name and address for the record. You will have 3 minutes, and when you reach 1 minute, I will announce that. Okay. Mike, okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. I am calling on 3444. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Derek Minnow Bloom. I live at 1108 First Avenue in Asbury Park. First of all, along with the council, just wanted to thank everyone in the city who both works for the city or is part of the city, just taking us through this really hard time that everyone in the world is going through together. So just really appreciate that. Wanted to thank whoever set up the Zoom or the phone call so that the public could be part of this. Really appreciate that. And yeah, I realize that there's comments after the ordinances, but I have another meeting to get to. So this is regarding affordable housing and the ordinances that are going up tonight. So apologies for that. But wanted to start by just thanking the city for the amazing work they've done on these ordinances. It's been an amazing process over the last year or so. But wanted to personally thank Yvonne, Amy, Michelle, Beth, and Donna, and anyone else who's been part of this ordinance. I think it's been really phenomenal work, and I've really been glad to be part of it. And just wanted to recognize you all for doing such progressive, affordable housing for our city even before we needed to. That said, really, I think working with Fair Share and the Asbury Park Affordable Housing Coalition, there's really just one more thing that wanted to say about the ordinances that are going to be introduced today that we felt that maybe could create more affordable housing and be a little more just. And again, just to recognize the amazing work already being done, this is really the last thing that we have. But just in regards to the scattered sites ordinance, and again, first of all, I wanted to thank the council for hearing us make a scattered sites ordinance for affordable housing, and we recognize that we were listened to with that, and that's great as well. But just the one part that we, I wish we lived in a world where we could just ask a developer, demand a developer to do affordable housing.
Derek, you have 57 seconds left.
Thanks. Where a developer would just make affordable housing because that's what you should do. So I recognize that we have to offer variances, like if they ask for parking or more height, then we can ask for affordable housing. So definitely recognize that and support that. But I think after reading over it, it seems like specifically in the scattered sites areas, we would only ask for affordable if they ask for parking, height, and specifically height over or 5 more units than necessary. So I was just wondering, or our group was wondering if we could remove the 5 extra units and just keep it if they do 5 or more units and ask for parking and height, that then we would require the affordable housing. And then lastly, not as a member of the Affordable Housing Coalition, but just to put on the agenda would just be to talk about rent and mortgages stuff, but this would also be for later. So thank you for your time and all your hard work.
Okay, Derek, this is John. Number one, thank you. And as far as answering the question, I'm going to either let Fred or Donna answer the question.
I can jump in at this point. This is Fred Raffetto, City Attorney. So I'd like to just say, by way of background, that there are 8 ordinances on the agenda tonight for first reading that deal with affordable housing. These ordinances are numbered 2020-9 through 2020-16. These ordinances were previously referred by resolution of the council to the planning board for review and recommendation as required by law. The board has reviewed each and every one of these ordinances and has recommended them without amendment to the council for introduction. With that said, the city has been working very cooperatively, as Derek indicated, with the Fair Share Housing Center. And this has been throughout the whole process of the development of these ordinances. And we've received feedback from Fair Share along the way. Today, we received a letter from Bassam Gergi of the Fair Share Housing Alliance requesting that the council consider revisions to 2 of the ordinances that are on this evening's agenda, one of which was referenced by Derek, and that would amend Ordinance 2020-9, which is the mandatory set-aside ordinance. The change that's proposed by Fair Share Housing would expand the scope of the ordinance to apply to more development projects than are proposed in the current form of the ordinance. The second request would amend ordinance number 2020-14, which is the Affordable Housing Regulation Ordinance, which will be codified as Chapter 31 of the Code. And that request is to include a provision in the ordinance which would state that middle income units shall not be completed at a faster rate than the low and moderate income units. In response to Fair Share's request of today, the city's working group, which included Deputy Mayor Quinn, Councilwoman Yvonne Clayton, Michelle Alonso, Beth McManus, Donna Viero, and myself, convened a conference call to discuss these proposed revisions. Our consensus is to recommend that the council proceed with the change to the phasing of the units concerning Ordinance 2020-14, but we recommend that the council essentially steer the course with Ordinance 2020-9 at this time, because if we were to make a revision of the type requested by Fair Share Housing, it would require us to send the ordinance back to the planning board. It would slow the process, and we're not looking to slow the process of affordable housing. With that said, however, we are amenable to considering the request of fair share and will give it further consideration and potentially recommend to council in the coming months a revision should council adopt Ordinance 2020-9 in its current format. So it definitely will be something that council will be considering for possible amendment, but the working group of today is not recommending that the change be incorporated tonight because we don't want to slow the process. And I hope that responds to your question.
Okay, the next participant is Julie Andriola. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, this is Julie Andriola, 521 Cookman Avenue. I just wanted to speak briefly about a new initiative some of you may have seen on social media called the Asbury Park Dinner Table. If you're not familiar with it, we're on Instagram or Facebook, Asbury Park Dinner Table. I want to really acknowledge the community. So this kind of came together in like this, we've been in existence, I think, for 7 or 8 days. I just want to explain a little bit about what we do. So right now we're collecting donations of money. We're also collecting donations of food and partnering with local restaurants to be able to provide hot meals, packaged hot meals at 4 distribution points across town. The 4 distribution points, which I'm about to list, you're able to, anyone can go, no one will be turned away. You're able to stop by 5:30 Monday through Saturday. We don't run the program on Sundays, but 5:30 to 6:30 Monday through Saturday, the public can pick up meals. We're practicing safe social distancing, so please, if you come to collect a meal, please make sure that you're maintaining a safe distance. The 4 locations are St. Stephen's over on Springwood Ave, Second Baptist Church on Atkins Ave, United Fellowship at 3rd and Emory, and the Boys and Girls Club as well. We're also running a session for restaurant workers who may have just been laid off or maybe furloughed right now. If you're interested, if you're a service industry worker, please feel free to get in touch with us and we can give you more information about that. I just want to shout out to like everyone who has been involved in this. All right, cool, thank you. So the restaurants who are participating, providing these meals, many of whom are also making some donations themselves. Mogo, Cardinal Provisions, Modine, Rayla, Belmonte, CJ's Delight, Toast, Pastavolo, Angosta, Amici, Confections of a Rockstar, Purple Glaze, Danny B. All of these restaurants have chipped in and participated to serve meals. And I also really wanted to quickly thank our in-kind donors, Asbury Park Distillery, Local 130 Seafood, Good Feelings Farm, and the Culinary Education Center. And with my 15 seconds, thank you so much to our big donors, iStar, Watermark, Beacon of Life, Jersey Pride, and the Van Gogh Powell Civic Association. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Thank you guys so much.
And thank you, Julie. Thank you, Kathy, Kelly, Joe, Allie. You guys have done a really, truly inspiring and amazing job with this initiative.
Thank you guys so much.
And Quinn, you didn't announce who you were, but we all know that voice. And this is John here. And again, Julie, I thank you. I thank Kathy. We're going to be forgetting a lot of people. So before I forget, I'll throw in a plug here. Thank you, Andy Carrison, the distillery, as far as like switching over to hand sanitizer. And again, when we forget somebody, it's not on purpose. It's, again, we're all of our heads are kind of like mush, but again, this is a community effort. And so all the volunteers stepping up, deeply appreciate. If we forget you, it's not intentional and we will get to you eventually. But Julie, thank you. And next.
Okay, we are on to 3350. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, hi, Ernest McNally, 400 Deal Lake Drive, Asbury Park, New Jersey. I I'd like to start off by saying that the world events since November have been pretty obvious and clear. They really stepped up in December and January, and certainly in February, and of course in March, relative to the virus. However, I'd like to point to the Asbury Park, in my opinion, business as usual, parties, gathering, bars and clubs with 600-700 people at a time crammed in. I'd like to say that I think the St. Patrick's Day Parade and the way that Asbury organized it, paid for it, and ran it should be held accountable in terms of the videos and photos. And I'd like to participate because I think every federal, national, state, and county rule of safety was broken during events like the St. Patrick's Day Parade, by the Black History Month at Berkeley Hotel, by the Recreation Committee event at the Asbury Hotel, by some of the senior events, and by the school events. So therefore, I think the accolades are nice after the, what do you want to call it, the cows out of the barn. But the thing is, when it really mattered, when people from out of Asbury should have at least been curbed a little bit from coming in. Instead, the floodgates were open. People were coming in from all over New York, Connecticut, New Jersey to Asbury for these events. There was public drinking, public drugs, people kissing, no social distancing, overcrowding in bars and clubs. And now we see in the paper that the council, the county freeholder, the sheriff, the mayor and council, the senator, Gopal, are taking pictures at St. Patrick.
1 minute left.
Thank you. In close proximity and really celebrating a job that you did. Well, if you look at the films of how endangered probably 10 to 20,000 people were that left this city then and went all over the state and really probably brought things that we're all talking about, the virus. And I'm really mortified that the tenure of this meeting is, and the content is about things and business as usual, when in fact the city should be held accountable for its behavior over the last 3 months. And I'd like to see some coverage of that in the paper and be able to contact city officials, which, although you say it's happening, it's not. I can't get through by email. I can't get through to anything in the Coaster, in the Sun, etc. It's like your own game, your own rules. You're putting out the narrative that you want to put out, but you should be held accountable. And that's, I think, all I have to say. My phone number, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. Your time is up. Next.
We are on to 9742. Please state your name and address for the record.
This is Sylvia from the Asbury Park Chamber of Commerce. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Sylvia.
Okay, thanks. First, I just wanted to say that I think that the courageous steps that this council took back on, I think it was March 15th, with declaring the state of emergency and adding limits to public gathering was, in my opinion, the impetus that caused the state to follow suit the following day. And I have no doubt that because of how bravely this Council of Five stood there and did what you did ahead of the curve, you will be remembered as having saved many lives. I think things moved faster through the whole state with restrictions on public gathering and social distancing because of what you did at a time where only about 3 cities in the whole state were making that move. So I thank you for that and appreciate you, and you should know that you are appreciated for your bravery. I'd like to thank, as many have tonight, the PD and the EMTs and the fire department and DPW for they've been unbelievable. several people have also mentioned our business community, and I have never been more proud than I am through all of this. Our business community members, while they're facing uncertainty themselves, they do what Asbury Park does best, and they put others first. As we heard a little, we heard about the program that Joe Grillo and Kathy Kelly et al. had started so quickly and so fantastically and so amazingly. We also have a fellow named Marty Mabey, who is a local businessman who in 48 hours was able to coordinate meals for Jersey Shore Medical. Thank you, Jersey Shore Medical Center for their emergency department and the EMTs that are coming in there for 1 month. We've got donations from our restaurant community to bring meals there every single day for 75 people. It's unbelievable.
Okay,
the altruism
Sylvia,
in this community.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia, hate to interrupt you, but
Yep.
to be consistent, your 3 minutes are up, so we thank
Okay,
you. And
sure. Thank you. Be safe.
Are there any other members of the public that wish to be heard? I am not seeing any.
not seeing any motion to close.
Kendall, second it.
I see a Kathleen Melgler we're calling upon.
Okay, where's she at?
She's gone now.
Okay, do you see anybody
Anyone
else?
else here? Not seeing anyone?
We already had a motion in a second. Moved by
Alright.
Moore.
Moved by
Jesse
Moore,
Kendall,
second by?
Eileen
Jesse
Chapman?
Kendall, second. Yes.
Okay. Meeting closed to the public. We are now on to individual resolutions. We have Resolution 2020-132, which is a resolution approving the payment of bills. Councilmember Chapman is abstaining from 19-03379, 20-00385, 20-00710. Do I have a motion? And please remember to identify yourself.
Eli Clayton, move it.
Eileen
Kendall,
Chapman,
Jesse.
second?
Good. Okay.
We will now do the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
No.
We're on to Resolution 2020-133, which is a resolution amending the temporary budget appropriations for the 2020 budget. Do I have a motion? And please identify yourself.
Moore moves
Eileen
it.
Chapman, move it?
Quinn, second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Moore and a second by Amy Quinn. We will now do the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're on to 2020-134, which is a resolution for an emergency contract for the disinfecting of the municipal buildings following CDC guidelines. Do I have a motion? And please identify yourself.
Motion
Quinn,
to
move it.
Kendall.
Okay, I have Deputy Mayor Quinn moving and a second by Councilman Kendall.
Yes.
We will now do the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2020-135, which is the resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Asbury Park to enter into a professional service agreement with Public Resources Advisory Group for the provision of pilot RAB administration. Do I have a motion?
Quinn, move it.
Chapman.
Clayton, second.
Okay, I have Deputy Mayor Quinn moving and Councilmember Clayton with a second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We have Resolution 2020-136, which is the resolution awarding a contract to Nicholas Enterprise LLC for the installation of new sidewalks, pavers, and stone in St. John Island Park, Grand Avenue, Asbury Park, New Jersey. Do I have a motion?
Kendall, the motion.
Quinn, second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Kendall and a second by Deputy Mayor Quinn. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We're on to 2020-137, which is the resolution rejecting bids for fire department uniforms. Do I have a motion?
Move it, Eileen Chapman.
Second, Yvonne Clayton.
Okay, I have Eileen Chapman, Councilmember Chapman moving, and I have Councilmember Clayton with a second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-138, which is a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a letter of intent with Schneider Electric to develop a business case for an energy savings improvement project. Do I have a motion?
Move it, Chapman.
Kendall, second.
Okay, I have Councilmember Chapman moving it, and I have Councilmember Kendall with a second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We have Resolution 2020-139, which is a resolution authorizing the appointment of a municipal manager for the city of Asbury Park and authorizing the execution of an employment agreement relating thereto, and that is Donna Viero. Do I have a motion?
Quinn, move
Kendall,
it.
move it. All right, Kendall, move it.
Clayton, second.
Okay. I have Councilmember Kendall moving it. And do I have a second?
Chapman.
Second.
And a second by Councilmember Chapman. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes, and congratulations.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes, and thank you for taking it.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes, congratulations also.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
We're on to Resolution 2020-140, which is a resolution appointing a municipal clerk for the city of Asbury Park. Melody Hartsgrove, RMC, CMR. Do I have a motion?
Move it,
Clayton,
Quinn.
move it. Second,
Second,
Clayton.
Okay, I have Deputy Mayor Quinn making the motion, and I have a second by Councilmember Chapman. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes, and congratulations.
Thank you. Councilmember Clayton?
Congratulations, yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Kendall?
Yes, thank you, Melody.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes. Congrats, Melody.
Thank you. Mayor Moore?
Yes.
Okay, we're now on to ordinances for introduction. We have Ordinance 2020-8, which is a bond ordinance providing for improvements to Memorial Drive, a transportation utility improvement, buying in the city of Asbury Park in the county of Monmouth, state of New Jersey, appropriating $5,250,000 therefore, including a grant expected to be received from the New Jersey Department of Transportation, and authorizing the issuance of $5,250,000 bonds or notes of the city of Asbury Park to finance the cost thereof, with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion? And please identify yourself.
Move it,
Clayton.
Quinn.
Clayton seconds.
Okay, I have Deputy Mayor Quinn with the motion to move, and I have Councilmember Chapman with the second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor, I'm sorry, Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're on to 2020-9, which is an ordinance of the city of Asbury Park, the county of Monmouth, and the state of New Jersey, adding chapter 30-74, mandatory affordable housing set aside, to the code of the city of Asbury Park, with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion? And please identify yourself.
Clayton,
move it.
move it.
City.
Councilmember. Okay, I have Councilmember Kendall moving,
Quinn second.
and with Deputy Mayor Quinn with the second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Okay, we're on to ordinance 2020-10, an ordinance amending the land development regulations of the city of Asbury Park to amend Article Redevelopment Plan Section 30-110.4 Springwood Avenue Redevelopment Plan, consistent with and designed to officiate the city's adopted 2019 third round housing element and fair share plan, with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion? And please identify yourself.
Clayton moves it.
Okay, was it Chapman moving?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
do I have a
Clayton
second?
seconds.
Okay, I have Councilmember Chapman with the move and Councilmember Clayton with the second. We will now move on to the roll. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're on to ordinance 2020-11, an ordinance amending the land development regulations of the city of Asbury Park to amend Article V zoning, Section 30-70.6 R3, medium density multifamily residential zone, and to create a new Deal Lake Drive inclusionary housing overlay district consistent with and designed to officiate the city's adopted 2019 third round housing element and fair share plan, with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Clayton moves.
I have a motion from Councilmember Chapman or Clayton?
Yep. I think
All right.
Chapman, I think
Okay.
Clayton seconded.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Chapman and a second from Clayton. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're on to ordinance 2020-12, an ordinance amending the land development regulations of the city of Asbury Park to amend Article Redevelopment Plan Section 30-110.2 Main Street Redevelopment Plan, consistent with and designed to officiate the city's adopted 2019 third round housing element and fair share plan with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Kendall, move it.
Quinn, second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Kendall and a second by Deputy Mayor Quinn. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn. I'm
Yes.
sorry, Councilmember Kendall.
Kendall. Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore. Mayor Moore.
More.
Yes.
Yes, okay. We're on to ordinance 2020-13, an ordinance amending the land development regulations of the city of Asbury Park to amend Article zoning section 30-71.3 B1 downtown retail district, section 30-71.4 B2 Main Street retail sales and service, and section 30-71.5 neighborhood commercial districts to consolidate zone districts, amend permitted uses, and incentivize the creation of inclusionary housing consistent with and designed to officiate the city's adopted 2019 third round housing element and fair share plan with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion, and please identify yourself?
Quinn, move it.
Deputy Mayor Quinn with the move,
Chapman, second.
and a second by Councilmember Chapman. We will now do the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're on to ordinance 2020-14, an ordinance of the city of Asbury Park, the county of Monmouth, and the state of New Jersey, adding chapter 31, affordable housing, to the code of the city of Asbury Park to address the requirements of the New Jersey Superior Court with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion, and please identify yourself?
Before the ordinances move forward, this is Fred Raffetto, City Attorney. I'd just like to jump in to say that the informal working group that I mentioned earlier when I responded during the public comment period is recommending that this ordinance be introduced this evening with the request from Fair Share Housing that there be a modification which would be inserted in the section of the ordinance dealing with new construction regarding phasing, indicating that middle income units shall not be completed at a faster rate than the low or moderate income units. So we're making that request for council to consider introducing the ordinance tonight with that modification made.
Clayton moves it with the modification.
Second, Quinn.
Okay, we will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Okay, we are on to ordinance 20-15, an ordinance amending the land development regulations of the city of Asbury Park to amend the article redevelopment plan, section 30-1110.1 Central Business District redevelopment plan, consistent with and designed to officiate the city's adopted 2019 third round housing element and fair share plan with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion, and please identify yourself?
Quinn, move it.
Kendall, second.
Okay, I have Deputy Mayor Quinn with the move and Councilmember Kendall with the second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're on to 2020-16, an ordinance of the city of Asbury Park rezoning certain properties and adopting an updated zoning map with a public hearing date of April 22nd, 2020. Do I have a motion? And please identify yourself.
Move it, Chapman.
Second,
Kendall,
Clayton.
second.
Okay, I have Councilmember Chapman with the move and Councilmember Kendall with the second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman,
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton,
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn,
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're on to second reading, public hearings. We have 2020-3, which is a bond ordinance providing for the construction of a parking garage at the Transportation Center of City Hall, Phase 1, a transportation utility improvement, buying in the city of Asbury Park in the county of Monmouth, the state of New Jersey, appropriating $1 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1 million in bonds or notes to finance the cost therefore. Do I have a
Melody,
motion to open the...
Melody, this is Donna. I'm gonna have Mike Manzella, our Deputy Manager and Transportation Director, give a brief summary of this, but I'm gonna go a little out of order and just thank the Mayor and Council for their appointment to me as City Manager, and also a great thank you to all of the staff that's on this call tonight and for all that they've done over these past few weeks. Having said that, Mike, can you please give us a summary of this?
Sure. Members of the council, as you're aware, we have started the design of the downtown parking garage. At this point, we are through the conceptual phase, the phase 1 part of the design. At this point, it's time to move on to phase 2, the detailed design, in order to get plans that we can go out to bid for the full construction of the garage. At this point, we're looking to do a smaller bond to finance the rest of the design. And at a later council meeting, we will then finance the full construction cost of the garage. Any questions?
Okay. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing on 2020-3 to the public?
Open, Chapman.
Second, Moore.
Second.
Okay, I have Councilmember Chapman with the move and Councilmember Clayton with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The public hearing is now open on 2020-3. Are there any members of the public? Not seeing any. Are there any members of the public?
More motion to close.
Kendall,
Chapman,
second.
second.
Okay. Public hearing is now closed on 2020-3. A motion to adopt 2020-3.
More motion to adopt.
Chapman,
Kendall,
second.
second.
Okay, I have Mayor Moore with the motion to adopt, and I have Councilmember Chapman with the second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Ordinance 2020-3 has been adopted.
Melody, this is
Do I
Mike
have-
Manzella.
Yes.
I just wanted to really quick remind the public, members of the public, that if they would like to speak for one of these ordinances on public hearing, to please press *9 on your phone to raise your hand.
Thank you, Mike, for that. And that's, I neglected to say that.
No problem.
Okay. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing on 2020-4, which is an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park, amending Chapter 7 of the Code of the City of Asbury Park regarding traffic regulations?
Move to open, Quinn.
Chapman, second.
Okay.
Don't we
And
wanna-
before we do that, if I could just have Mike give a little summary of this as well?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. This ordinance is to change the parking regulations in around the Thurgood Marshall School, which is on Monroe Avenue downtown. We worked with the Board of Education, which provided a resolution in support of this ordinance, and that is basically to change it from a no parking zone at all times in front of and next to the school to no parking only between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, which means that members of the public would be able to park in front or next to the school in the evenings after 7 p.m. and on the weekends.
Members of the public may participate by dialing *9 on your phone to raise your hand in the Zoom meeting. I will either call your name or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your turn to participate. When called upon, you will be unmuted to speak. Please state your name and address for the record. Your comments or questions can only be about the ordinance being presented for the public hearing. I see I'm calling on 3350. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Ernest McNolly, 400 Deal Lake Drive, Asbury Park, New Jersey. I'd like to say on this ordinance that I think carrying it out virtually, and it's, unless I'm wrong, it seems like I seem to be one of the major public people here that lives here, and I'm far from enough representation to kind of ask questions or pose opposition to things that just seem to be passing. Mr.
McNolly, I hate to interrupt you. This is not a time for a statement. It's a time for questions about the ordinance and the ordinance only. So if you have questions about this ordinance, please ask them.
Okay, why would you put it up for passage tonight with the public participation not physically there?
We advertise the public participation on everything going, including Nixle, which went to everybody and everybody. So the public participation was open to everybody and anybody. If they wanted to be on, we gave them any opportunity to be on. So again, that is not a question about the ordinance. I clarified that. Now, if you have a question about the ordinance, we will entertain that question about the ordinance. But anything else, I'm going to say, sir, your time limit is up. I know you're going to say, you always do that to me, but questions about the ordinance only, please, sir.
No comment.
Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Seeing no other members of the public, a motion to close.
Can no move it.
More.
Chapman, second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Okay. Public hearing is now closed on 2020-4. Do I have a motion to adopt 2020-4? Please identify yourself.
Move to adopt, Chapman.
Second, Quinn.
Clayton.
Okay, I have Councilmember Chapman with the move, and I have Deputy Mayor Quinn with the second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
2020-4 adopted. Do I have a motion to open up the public hearing on 2020-7, which is an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park, amending and supplementing the code of the City of Asbury Park, New Jersey, in order to establish a new chapter thereof, to be known as Chapter 26, entitled Identification Card Program.
Melody, before we get to that, this is Donna. I just wanted to give a little summary of this. This ordinance came to being on the request of our Social Services Director, Doug Schultz. The concept of this is to provide identification cards for our residents and members of our homeless community that may have difficulty gaining access to rehab programs, social services, healthcare services, and other opportunities due to the fact that they're unable to secure a government ID. These IDs will be presented or will be produced within the city upon the approval of our Social Services Director. And while there is a minimal fee of $10 for adults and $5 for children, those people applying for this that have a hardship, we can certainly grant the cost of these identification cards.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Can no move
Motion
it.
to open up. A second? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? The public hearing on 2020-7 is open, and I am calling upon 3350. Please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Ernest McNolly, 400 Deal Lake Drive, Apartment 5B, Asbury Park, New Jersey. I would like to know if the identification card program is pretty much an Asbury Incorporated issue, or has it gone through the channels with the county and the state? And that's my question.
Either
So
Fred
this-
or Donna. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Fred, if you want to chime in as well, this is just a local identification card. As I mentioned earlier, it's not government issued. This is merely for our residents that may or may not be homeless, who have some challenges getting identification, to have a card with their name on it and a picture so they can have access to mental health, addiction, housing, and social service programs, and some others.
Is that your answer?
That's my answer.
Well, my question was that it seems fine what you're doing, but I'm just saying, did you do it in isolation? Or in other words, if people can't get cards through the county and the state, that must mean a reason that why grant a card that would gain access to the service when, in fact, those are really state and county and city programs that require registration. And all I'm asking is I guess maybe the question is for the city attorney. Is that legal to do it that way?
Yes, I've reviewed this ordinance and I have no concerns about the ordinance as written.
Okay, so you're saying it's legal to do it that way for the city to kind of bypass the county and the state and gain access to partially state, federal, county-funded programs through an initiative by the city on its own. So you're saying that's legal.
I'm not going to agree to your characterization of the ordinance. I'm just representing to the mayor and council that I see no problems with the ordinance as written.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other members of the public that wish to speak on 2020-7? Not seeing any. Motion
Motion
to
to
close.
close by Moore. Moore, close.
Second,
Second,
Clayton.
Hammond.
Okay, all in favor? None opposed?
Aye. Aye.
Okay.
All right.
Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2020-7? Please identify yourself.
Kendall, motion to adopt.
Moore, second.
Chapman, second.
Okay, I have Councilmember Kendall with the offering, and I have Mayor Moore with the second. We will now move on to the roll call. Councilmember Chapman?
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Councilmember Kendall?
Yes.
Mayor Moore? Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
Yes.
2020-7 adopted. We are now on motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Hold on, please.
I'm
please.
Jensen Quinn.
He's Jensen Quinn. He votes no. So I agree with Jensen. Before we adjourn, I would just like to thank everybody, but especially Joe, Nate, Melody, and Donna for making this, whatever it's called, Zoom work. I would like to thank all of our department heads for being on this. I would thank the public for bearing with us. From what I've heard from other towns and heard other towns, ours so far has been the smoothest. So compliments again to our staff. And again, in closing my statements, this is a terrible thing going on in the country. Asbury Park is on top of it. Our offices are open. If anybody wants to call, you can call and somebody will return your call. And I didn't say it before, but Melody and Donna, congratulations and welcome to the NFL. This is not Pop Warner. Asbury Park is the NFL. So
Thank you very
you can
much.
play here. If you can play here, you can play anywhere. And that's it for me, guys.
Ditto
Motion
to
to
everything
adjourn.
Moore said as well.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Motion
night.
to adjourn.
No,
Thank you, Mike
we still-
Manzella. Great job.
Melody,
yeah.
we still need we need a motion and a second and a roll call.
That's right. Motion to adjourn?
Move it, Chapman.
Kendall, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Great job, everybody.
Thank you.
Great.
Yay.
Great job.
Thanks, Michael.
Goodbye.